Hello, hello. So welcome again to another amazing client of mine who is very generously here to share her sacred experience of this coaching container. Stacey Sargison, you're here and you're glowing and
Oh,
gorgeous. And I know you've just been on this amazing run and you're,
I know.
multitasking as always and doing it effortlessly and gracefully.
Oh, thank you. Who would have thought it? I couldn't run for a bus a few weeks ago, so no one's more surprised than me, I assure you.
Well, you're killing it. Absolutely
Thank
killing it. You're doing great. So, thank you so much for coming on today. I know that the work that I do with people is super intimate and deep and powerful. And the fact that you are willing to so generously share your journey with everybody today means a lot to me. And I just honor you for being here. It's been such a joy to work with you. And I would just invite you to share a little bit about your journey.
My goodness. Where do I start? I really felt when we connected, there was an instant feeling, and I really trust that within myself. And that's something that I share all the time, is that, I knew that there was something that we would do together. And it wasn't until we started talking about your work and the depth of which your work takes us together. I really did want that support to dive deep within myself, but with support with someone who I felt energetically, but also on a soul level that would understand that. I don't have children yet, but for me, and I know that you do a lot of work around parents and children and things, so I really felt connected that you could help me with my inner child. um,
Mm.
and that to me was where the connection came in. And the work that we've done together has really been to connect with my younger self, my inner child, but also to connect with a vision of myself that I saw, that I wasn't seeing reflected in a mirror. So much of my life has changed since working with you, and I don't say that lightly, because of the depth in which we did. Gosh, like whenever it was a catalyst of change for my life. And as someone that facilitates it for others, to receive it to the levels in which you guide was phenomenal. And that's the person that's sitting in front today is because of all the work that we did behind the scenes. And I truly believe that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And it's an absolute honor, honestly, a privilege. And what I love particularly about your journey is that you were already super successful. You'd already done heaps of work on yourself. Like you're already out there kicking goals, leading, visionary, change maker, powerhouse.
Yeah.
And yet there's still things that we need to address, to get to the next level. So you'd already surpassed so many boundaries and you'd just broken through and you're leading the way and you were super successful.
Yeah.
But to get to that next elevated level, which you're now playing in,
Yeah.
we've all got to do that little bit of inner work. And I feel like when we work together, you were like, there's something, I just don't know what it is, you know?
Yeah. Totally, Kathy. I mean, that's the thing. And it wasn't anything I could put my finger on. I mean, yes, there was the inner child work, but I wasn't sat here thinking, oh, I'm in so much trauma and I need to move through it. It didn't feel like that. I had just set, a world record, and
Yeah.
that had all happened. Like you said, I was leading and I was doing things, but there was something within me that I was feeling there was some resistance, or there was a version of myself that I wasn't, for whatever reason, embodying or moving into or understanding. Does that make sense? And so I
Yeah.
wanted to explore that. And that's when we started to work together. I said, I don't know what it's going to look like. I trust your guidance. All I know is I want to connect and understand, where is this resistance? Because I could feel it percolating. I could feel almost like there was this almost, but there was
Mm.
things holding me back, and I didn't know what they were specifically, but I knew that I was holding myself back. And I was ready to explore it and to move through it and past it, and to learn from it. Not just go, okay, well, I've done that, that's all cool. I wanted to really get to know myself on a level which I hadn't explored yet, which I knew
Yeah.
you could help me with.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love as well about your journey is, as you said before, I haven't got children yet, But what you've done is you've broken generational cycles. I mean, without going into the ins and outs of what we've done together, you have disrupted so many pathways that weren't yours to own, that now you've smashed out and you've created your own pathway. So for me, the most powerful thing that you've done here is that when you actually do have children, you're entering into that contract elevated, free, in aligned with yourself, aligned with your vision, free of the past shackles and restraints that were put upon you that were never yours to own in the first place. So what I love about it, and what I'm having more conversations with people around, is that even before people are becoming parents, they're going, hey, we baby proof the house, right? We get all of the equipment, we get the toys, we get the sterilizers, we get everything we need. But now they're going, actually, there's a few things I'd like to just clean up and elevate within myself before I invite other souls into this experience.
I mean, Kathy, truth be told, it was I'm not sure before working with you. It was like, yeah, maybe never really, it wasn't a hell yes and it wasn't a hell no. But the work that we did, especially the first session, I mean, that was an upgrade, a visceral release of the highest level that I've ever experienced. And I think you can attest with that. It was such a powerful moment. And I physically felt, I was shaking, not to get, I don't mind sharing. I was shaking. I physically felt ill, but I knew this was it. This was we need to let this go, whatever this is. And that's what we worked together on, what this was. But after that, there was a release, and it was the truth of self. It wasn't a case of, do I want children or not? It was a case of, I hadn't met the person that I wanted children with. And trying to navigate through that, you really helped support the truth within myself to rise up and to let go of the shackles of shoulds, and to really honor myself, and honor the work that we had done together. And I practice what I preach myself, Kathy. And so there was this level of integrity that I was ready to step into. Oh, that gave me chills. So that is the truth of the matter. It's that level of integrity, as especially people that come to you and who are already change makers and doing the things in whatever capacity that looks like. We've also got to be honest with ourselves. There's many people out there that are saying they're doing the work, but no judgment, but only when you look in the mirror of how true are you really being behind the scenes as well. And that's when with you, I said, I'm ready to really face this to the next level. And that truly opened up the doors for another stratosphere of change within my life. But this time, and you supported me through this, that level of change personally has also like my own personality has emerged. Does that make sense? Like, because I've gone through something so like I said, it was a catalyst of change for me, and it wasn't something I was prepared for or even thought would happen. But what happened with the work that we did is I felt such confidence and such, I don't know if I can swear, but non-fuckery around like what I truly, who I am, and what I'm not willing to take on other people's BS. I'm not willing to take on all this stuff. It is not mine. It does not belong to me. And that strength within self was required. That's why I know now I was required to work with you in my soul, because I needed to step into that next version of myself of fire and protection, and not to look externally for protection, safety, security, all those things. And that's what I now have myself, and not in a hard, cold-hearted way, protect myself because I'm so scared. It's more of I have myself always and forever. And no one can ever take that away from me. So no matter what is said externally, or whatever happens, whatever, eye of the storm, whatever it is that happens, I am safe within myself. I have my own back. It's okay. And that level of security has amplified in all areas of my life, Kathy, you know, from finances, from clients, from how I show up in the world, from fitness, everything. It's like I'm how do I say this? Holy crap, I am the version that I saw in my mind's eye, and it's I'm here, and it's wonderful because I have my own back.
Yeah. And what I love about that is there's a lot of fear, I feel, out there, that when you really step into your power, it's to the sacrifice of. And, you know, your journey in particular is a testament to the opposite of that. That what it is when you step into your full power, it amplifies everything that you love about yourself to another level.
Oh my God.
And that security and safety that you feel inside of yourself becomes this steely, quiet, self-assured, graceful presence that just shifts the whole experience.
I could not agree more, unequivocally agree with everything you've just said. I feel more in my feminine than I ever have, which, you know, seems to be an oxymoron when you're trying to be independent and it's very masculine. You know, no, I am oozing elegance now, and I know that within myself, and I'm being complimented all the time. The reason I say that is because my heart is open. Because I know I am safe within myself, it has allowed my heart to open, to let go of relationships and friendships without animosity or toxicity. I'm just like, love and light, like that's yours, return, like I love you and I'm sending love because I love myself so much, you know, and releasing judgment and shame and all those heavy things. I sure as I will not do that to another person. So I go along my merry way, and you know, I'm in a new place, new friendship circles, Kathy. It's a completely different world. It's a completely different experience of life right now. And forevermore, I have so many new friends that I don't know, I'm speechless. It's had the ripple effect in every single area of my life, every single area. And I started by saying to myself, just want to get to know, like, I just want to get to know myself a little bit more. I'm not sure where. And then it's everything.
Yeah, that coming home to self, so powerful. And that deep level of trust of self. Like, that's the greatest gift you can give your future generations, is to teach them that as early as possible.
I mean, and everything has helped. And this is what I love about the work that we do. It's helping my clients because I have this next version of myself of again, I'm living life, you know, on purpose. Again, I'm doing the work too. So it helps me to sit in my power, knowing I'm just, you know, I'm carrying on doing the stuff too. It's all right. But it means that I can show up for my clients in a much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Bear with. A much more stable and solid presence, regardless of, you know what I've gone through and everything. It didn't impact that because I was safe. I was secure within myself. I was returning back to myself. And that's something that I will forever be able to tune back into as well, which is the gift that keeps on giving with the work that you do. There's things that you've shared that I can, it's taking less and less time. Let's just say,
I love that.
Certain things, like you said, external validation, people giving nasty comments or whatever it may be, other people that I love dearly, that I've let go, and they've had opinions that would have rocked me, would have completely wiped me out for months, and has done in the past. Now I'll have a moment and okay, interesting. But it's the tools and techniques that you shared, it's way quicker now. It's like, okay, interesting, let's move through that. Interesting.
And what I really love about you and really respect and honor about you the most is there's no ego, because the work that you've done has been so courageous, so honest and raw, and you've shown up with being a leader yourself, right? You could have been a nightmare client. You really could have been. You could have been an absolute nightmare, showing up with predetermined ideas and boundaries and all that sort of thing. But you turned up open-minded, open-hearted, in true faith and trust, with this wonderful ability to open yourself up to curiosity of how things could be different. And that to me is true leadership, because you've never said, well, I'm on the cutting edge, I'm the visionary, I'm doing this, therefore there's nothing else for me to discover. You said, I want to discover it all. I want to stay curious. I want to do the work because I want to elevate and elevate and elevate so I can help my clients do the same. And that to me, like, I've got tingles saying it, that to me is true leadership, you know, true powerhouse change maker, that you're not frightened to go deep within yourself. Because I agree with you wholeheartedly. If we're out there shining light for other people to elevate, we need to continually do that for ourselves.
Yes. Thank you. I lovingly receive that. Open heart, open mind is required when working with you. Like you said, it is, because you don't know what you don't know. And I think, you know, we don't know it all. So nice try telling yourself that, if you're telling yourself that behind the scenes. But, you know.
I think as well, you know, we've obviously got an ongoing relationship, which is gorgeous and beautiful and full of respect and honoring of each other. And, you know, what's beautiful is it has developed into a friendship where we are really supportive of each other, because we've been through such a sacred journey. And I mean, I know I've said this to you before, but when we've worked together, it has felt electric. Like you could feel, even though it was virtually, we weren't in the same room together, it was electric. Like you could feel the otherworldly pulse, you know, coming through the whole energy of what happened. And it was incredible.
It was, I mean, I've never done plant medicine yet. Maybe I will in the future, but I've never done anything like that. But it felt what I can only imagine that would feel like. It was existential. It was, like you said, otherworldly. It was, we were tuned in, tapped into something that was, like you said, it was pulsating. I remember standing in my study, in my office, closing the door, and he said, make sure no one's home. And I was like, oh God, having happy dancing. Oh my God, the Brit in me is like, I would rather not, but okay, I will. And I was willing to do it. But we did the first session, and I remember us kind of talking at the end, and my hands were throbbing, and you were saying, me too. Like it was as if we were in tune. And our hearts were beating together. It was that throbbing was happening together. And that was incrediable. The release. Oh, I knew after that session, I was forever a changed woman. I couldn't unsee, and I say this, I couldn't unsee, unfeel, unknow what just happened. And that changed the trajectory of my life more than I imagined it would. So thank you.
Well, thank you, because you always showed up and did the work. Because this is the thing, this is the first conversation, as you know, that I have with clients is, hey, you've got to show up here. You've got to really come in and you've got to give it your all. And I will give it everything as well. But it has to be this meeting, as you said, this meeting of souls.
What you helped me to see and helped guide me through was a level of expression of self, and within my relationship and within my friendships and clients and what I want to bring in and all of that stuff. But particularly my relationship at the time, it showed me so much. And I knew, here we go. You know, here we go. This is an interesting fork in the road, so to speak, of what I was willing to accept and what I wasn't. And that would not have happened because I was swallowing things like energetically, and that releasing that we did. And that wouldn't have happened had I'd hid that part of what was really going on or what I was really feeling over here. So like you said, coming to the table and bearing all and saying, let's see what this is about then. Let's work through this, try and improve it or let go. I don't know what we're going to be doing here, but here's what's happening. And I feel that level of truth and honesty is the only way you'll really get the transformation in any work that you do. And so like you said to me, you know, you need to do the work. And I said, okay, I'm in. Even if my kneecaps were shaking, and I was like, okay, I trust you, Kathy.
Yeah.
So, you know, yes. I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I didn't hold back and I didn't hide, or I didn't say, oh, and I won't really say that because, like, you know, I just went, here you go, vroom. And like you said afterwards, you know, this real friendship is it's true. It's a connection that is unbreakable, really. And it sounds really cliche, but it's said with my whole heart. And I honor you and thank you with my whole being, for being there and supporting me through one of the most challenging times of my life. But I am now living the truest reflection of self that I ever have, ever.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your trust. It's been a sacred container that we've had, and it's a privilege for me, an absolute privilege and honor. And what I have seen watching you from afar, because I'm always checking in on my clients, making sure they're doing well and they don't need a little boost. And what I saw beforehand was this incredible person with limitless potential who was bowing. That's the image I had of you. And then we did our work together, and you just, and let me just make it clear, when we stopped having our sessions, you didn't stop doing the work. So what you've done is you've taken on everything, and now you do that religiously with dedication and honoring of self and self-love and all of those amazing, beautiful things of trust of self. And it's an ongoing process that, you know, basically my job is to get somebody to the point that they don't need me anymore, you know, and hopefully they'll still want me somehow in their lives, but they don't need me. And that's the whole point.
You can't get rid of me that easily, Kathy.
But then when you did the work, and you really did it magnificently, you did it bravely, courageously, you went deep, you went raw. And now when I look at you, you've stood into your full self, and you actually look regal now. You're not bowing anymore. Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's been such a gorgeous, amazing transformation. And it's absolutely testament to you and your dedication to your own growth. And what makes me excited is when in the future you do decide to have children, the gift that you're giving your children from conception, being in the energetic field that you have created, is going to be immeasurable. It really is. I mean, you know, with my kids, it's been different because they've been born into me and through me at a point where I was really doing that self-discovery, trying to find the answers, doing all the work. And, you know, everything I've learned, I've taught to my children so that they're getting everything they can possibly get from me while they're with me. But with you, it's like the opposite. It's like you've prepared yourself. And so even energetically, vibrationally, they are going to be in this gorgeous, amazing, inspirational, uplifting environment before they even make it earthside. So that is a huge, huge gift. And what a legacy.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's calling in the right energy to co-create that, you know. Again, you know, that's something that's been lovingly let go of, is the vibration I'm at. You either can come to this vibration, rise up, and we can do something together, or okay, well, love and light, see you later. But it's okay, you know. And that has been the first time in my life where I've truly honestly felt that, not just saying it to believe it, it's I believe it. That's why I'm saying it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So if there was anybody else that was watching this who were thinking of going on a similar journey, what guidance could you give them?
Oh, listen to yourself. You're watching, I say this all the time, you're watching this very video for a reason. It is because deep down, you know, you're tired, it's ready, it's time. Trust yourself enough to just take the next step and reach out to Kathy. I trusted myself, and that's the gift of self, trusting yourself enough to reach out, trusting yourself enough to book a call or do whatever. But the guidance that Kathy, it's not like anything else, and it is profound, and it will be one of the greatest journeys you give yourself and take yourself on. And the tools that you receive like we said, you can use again and again, like I do right now still. And trust yourself enough to say yes to why you're watching this. And that curiosity can get you so far, but it's time to turn that curiosity into change and connection of self and releasing and loving on yourself.
Yeah.
First and foremost. And yeah, stop thinking about it. Think like just enough now. Enough. That's what I would honestly say. Why are you thinking about it? You already know you want to do it, so let's go.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, my dear friend. I honor you so much for having this conversation with me again, always leading with a courageous heart, and I'm absolutely privileged to have you in my orbit, and I deeply honor and thank you.
Same. Lots of love.
Lots of love.